He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. Now, this is a quote by the famous Plato, famous philosopher. I'm going to relate it back to making money online. If you cannot make $1 online, you will not be able to make $1,000. You will not be able to make $10,000, $100,000, $10K a month, $100,000 a month. Now, who am I? Why the fuck am I talking about making money online? I make a stupid amount of money online, 6 figures a month. Now, to most people that's unfathomable. And also to most people, you probably say, oh, well, you're just on some shitty balcony. It's raining. It is actually raining, by the way. So better be a quick one. You're in the UK. You don't drive a Lambo. You don't earn that money. And you know, these things are all very materialistic assets, and so is money in a way. And sure, what's the point in money if you don't spend it on nice things? But it's what you prioritize, right? If my main priority was to buy a fucking Lamborghini, I would have done it. But it's just not. I'd rather have a good lifestyle. I'd rather reinvest. I'd rather, secure my position in the industries that I'm in and also branch out to others. This is being smart. Anyway, the point of the video is you need to master the small things before aiming to the fucking top. If you were to take a top salesman who has made millions and you give them a product worth 50 grand, they would be able to sell that product like that because they'd be able to do the correct research, they'd use the correct terminology, they'd be able to sell it in the right way. However, if you are trying to sell that and you've made nothing and you're just beginning sales, you would never be able to sell that 50k product. Never. It's not going to happen because you don't have the experience. You haven't made $1 yet, let alone the fucking 50 grand. But it goes to show what the experience does. They're just a human too, right? But they have this certain mastery and confidence, and they've been there a million times and they've done it. You need to start off small. Let's just say you want to start a business or you want to be a top salesman. Either way, it doesn't fucking matter. You need skills. You need to know how to market. You need to know how to sell. Even if you want to be a salesman, you need to understand marketing. These are just fundamental skills and also people management and general social skills, but that's something that will come naturally with those anyway. If you want to be a top salesman, get a fucking job, either going door to door, and you'll learn a lot about yourself first of all, because it's a shit job, or some shitty customer service fucking Tesco mobile job where you're selling phones. If they involve somewhat of a commission or bonus to that job, you're going to be incentivized to make sales, and therefore you're going to work harder and you're going to actually learn in your spare time rather than fucking monging it. The problem with a lot of mainstream jobs and working for big corporations, let's just say you worked for a mobile company, I don't know, Vodafone. If you work for Vodafone, I think they get like bonuses based on sales. They're not on commission for sure, and it's a shit job. They turn up, they get paid no matter what. You need to put yourself in a position where if you don't make sales, you don't earn money, you don't eat, you don't do this. And that is a different type of desperation which will lead you into learning and force you to learn. The point being, you cannot achieve anything without the negativity. You need to be able to, you need to hit rock bottom. Whether you get into your first sales job and you earn nothing for 2-3 months, you spend all your savings. This is pretty much exactly what I did, just to get by, and it was commission only. And you may make 1 or 2 sales, and you may even be forced to quit that job. Maybe you can't afford your fucking fuel to get into work anymore. you are going to have learned so much from that experience, an invaluable amount. And if I was to say to you, this is very similar to like online coaching or any kind of mentorship that you were to, embark on. Let's just say you have, 5K savings. And this is like, you're going into a job, you have 5K savings, it's commission only, blah, 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 blah. You're willing to spend that 5K on that. Would you, if I just fucking gave it to you here, say, give me the 5K now, you can learn everything right now if you lose everything? Or would you rather go on the journey, spend fucking months doing this, doing that? The point is, kind of a weak point there. The point is that nothing can replace the absolute importance of ground zero, because it puts you into fight or flight mode, and you have to put in the work to get out of the shit. Point being, you have to make $1 online before you can make 1,000. That's the main point of the video. How do you actually go about that? You have to figure that out yourself. No one, literally no one, can sit you down and say, do this. Because if they do sit you down and say, do this, do that, this is how you're going to make money. Even if you start making money, as soon as that person drops off, stops giving you guidance, or you may fall out with that person, you may want to progress past them, you're going to be fucked, because you never went through the stage of being forced to learn that yourself. And this is where a lot of people who grow up with money, they will struggle with eventually making their own, because you would have thought they grow up with money, so they got the original investment, they've got all these people with money around them, so they have the mentors and the advisors and all this kind of stuff around them. So you think, fucking hell, easy, so easy. But the problem is that because they're given those things, they're never forced to learn them. Sure, some of them go on and do great things with what they're given, that's fine. And obviously, congrats to them. And they've probably put in just as much work as the average person in a different way. But everyone starts somewhere. It is actually raining, fucking hell. Everyone starts somewhere, and all this false perception about making money online and people posting on TikTok like fucking, if you start today, if you start fucking day trading, join my day trading group, you'll be making 10 grand next month. It's not going to happen. It will take years to be able to make a substantial amount of money online. It's just a fact, unfortunately. So if you're not prepared to do that, then it's not for you. You might as well stick to fucking Tesco's. But then if you do stick to Tesco's, it's the same fucking thing anyway. You're still going to be in shit for years, doing a shit job. This is even shit, don't get me wrong. Doing fucking business and working long hours. What you're considering is even shitter. Probably by five times, 10 times. But the end result, or what you achieve from it, will be far greater than what a million Tesco workers put together could achieve. Do you know what I mean? Take risks, take opportunity, and never be afraid to leave the path that everyone else takes, because the worst thing that can happen from you embarking on a business journey or trying to make something of yourself is you fail and you end up on the same path as everyone else anyway. You end up getting a 9-to-5 anyway, which is just what a normal fucking person does. So your worst scenario is that you end up in the same scenario as everyone else. It's the worst possible thing that can happen. So take some fucking action.